Right there.
Right.
Come on.
Woohoo! Beautiful. Real
Nice fish.
Real nice.
Yeah.
That's great. So where'd that fish come from?
Over there.
Over there. How deep was he?
Oh, he was in about 3 feet of water.
About 3 feet of water.
Yeah.
On the gets it again.
On the
Gets
gets
it definitely seems to be the deal today.
Yeah, it does.
Seems to be the deal. You just hopping that gets it along?
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Just picking it up and letting it fall. Dragging it a little bit.
I noticed that you and I have totally different ideas about fishing a gets it. You're fishing a gets it on a heavy head. I'm fishing a gets it on a lighter head.
Yep.
And they both seem to be working. I think you've got a couple of bigger fish than me today, but I'm still not convinced that that's only because of the weight.
The wind is blowing a little bit. And I have a little more control and a little more feel with a little heavier head.
I agree that there are certainly advantages to fishing with a heavier head. I do it myself sometimes. But I'm having a nice time just watching this thing lazily drift down there.
Yeah.
And it's getting picked up.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's definitely a different kind of deal.
Yep.
But I think what's going on today is if you put it in front of a fish, the fish is going to bite it. So that's a nice looking one.
Another little one.
Another one of these little squeakers.
Yep.
Well, I think we found where the little ones are.
Yep.
So what we've been doing today that seems to be working the best has been working these gitsits. Mike's working a brown colored one. I've been working this little white one. And most of the fish have been coming out of about 4 or 5 feet of water. We're just hopping it down the bank. We're fishing mostly flat banks with big chunks of rock in it. And it's been working pretty well. You know, Mike's been dragging it a little bit more than I have. I've been hopping it. I just changed to a heavier size bait just to work it a little bit more quickly, because it seems that as we work down the bank, it doesn't matter if you're fishing fast or slow, so I'd rather fish fast and cover more water. These big flats here, they have weeds on the back side of them. It's gravelly and chunk rock up here. And it seems like when you find a bank that has fish, there's more than one. Although we fished some banks that looked exactly the same that have had fish in the past, and they just haven't had fish. So it seems to be hit and miss.
No, you got a tough day today. We've had 4 or 5 days of cooling water, and now today you got high pressure system blowing through. So these fish are a little bit off their feed today.
Absolutely, and the change in conditions has been part of the problem too. We started out the day, it was cloudy, it was still windy, but it's gotten even more windy and now it's cleared up, and I'll tell you, it's very nice to have a sunny day for a change out here. But conditions certainly have changed over the course of the day.
Yes, they have.
Although all the fish have really been coming off the same thing. We did have one early on a spinnerbait that we lost that was a decent fish, but again, it was on the same type of bank and doing basically the same thing. So we're going to keep doing it for a while here and see if we can get a few more fish. But this seems to be the deal today. Again, I'm fishing right now a 1/4 ounce gitsit. Earlier I was fishing an 1/8 ounce gitsit. Mike, what weight is that you're throwing?
3/8.
Mike's throwing a 3/8, and I guess you like the speed that you can get with that?
Well, yeah, and I'm sort of dragging it on the bottom and keeping bottom contact, and it is a little windy today.
So that seems to be what's been working for us. Ooh, here comes one. Oh, decent fish.
Good largemouth.
And it's a largemouth. Great. Excellent. That's a nice fish you got there, Mike.
Yeah, nice largemouth.
Whew.
Yep.
That's another
Good
nice fish.
largemouth.
Well, things are picking up.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice, Mike.
Yep, just shows Candlewood they have nice largemouth and nice smallmouth.
They sure do. We're going to take a break now and talk a little bit about the history of Candlewood Lake. Mike here has been fishing the lake for a very long time, and he really knows a lot about the history here. So why don't you tell us something, Mike?
Well, Candlewood Lake is a man-made lake. It's an impoundment. It was built in the late 20s by Northeast Power as a pump storage facility for power generation. The lake has always had some decent fish in it. In the 70s, they realized that though there was a lot of largemouth bass in the lake, the bass were kind of on the small side. So the Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection introduced alewives, which are landlocked herring, small bait fish, into the lake. These alewives caused the bass to grow to enormous size, and the bass in here are very, very large now, and there's an awful lot of them. Then in the early 80s, the homeowners started complaining about the weeds that were growing right up to their docks and right up to the shoreline, didn't let them swim, didn't let them recreate on the lake. So the utility company got the idea of drawing the lake down in the fall, leaving the shallow water exposed to the air all winter, and that would kill the weeds. And what that did is it created an inside weed edge and a clear area which allowed the smallmouth to spawn. And it gave them a large area to spawn, and the population of smallmouth just exploded. Just an enormous amount of smallmouth bass. So combined with the good largemouth fishing, you now have great smallmouth fishing, and the alewives feed them both, and they are huge. Really, really big fish in this lake, and just an enormous amount of fish.
I've noticed that in the springtime there's an awful lot of tournaments on this lake, and it seems like a lot of tournaments are won here with largemouth, but also probably just as many are won with smallmouth or a combination of fish. So the quality of the fish seems to be about equal, although I have seen some much bigger largemouth come out of here than smallmouth.
Well, largemouth, of course, grow larger than smallmouth, but there's some very, very big smallmouth here. A couple of weeks ago, there was a tournament here, and I was fishing that tournament, and I caught a 5-pound, 6-ounce smallmouth bass, which is a huge smallmouth.
That is an enormous fish. That is really huge.
You know, and I held out the idea that it would be the largest fish in the tournament, probably for about 20 minutes, and then 2 6-pound, 14-ounce largemouth were brought in. I mean, the lake just produces enormous fish. A few years ago, as a matter of fact, there was a tournament where a guy brought in a 7.2, and he was sure he would have lunker. Another guy brought in a 7.5. He was convinced he had lunker. Another guy brought in a 7.10. He was absolutely sure he had lunker. But the guy with the 7.15, he took home the check.
Oh yeah, nice going. That's a beauty. All right. How you wait here? Nice smallmouth. Into the boat.
Not so easy in the boat. He doesn't want to come.
You need about 2 inches longer on your arm there, Mike.
I think so.
Here, let me.
Got him now.
You got him.
All right. Yeah, that's a nice fish.
That's a beauty.
Yeah, these Candlewood smallmouth are really something.
Very nice, Mike. You're out fishing me.
Oh, well.
Big fish.
Oh, well.
There we go. Whoop.
Good job, Dave.
That was good.
Oh, well.
Just call me Butterfingers. That was fun. That was fun. Sorry about that fish. Well, that fish will have a reminder for a while of what it tastes like. That was my own fault. I really should have retied earlier. It's very important to retie often, especially after you've caught a couple of fish. Really, with light line, after every fish, you should really consider retying. We've just been having such a good time that I forgot. But do as I say, not as I do, and you'll be much better off. Never bite line with your teeth either. That's what my mom told me. Here we go.
Got one? Yeah, nice fish. Very nice fish. Good smallmouth.
Come on, sweetheart. Good. Come on, sweetie. Please. Oh,
Easy.
whoops. There we go.
Nice fish.
Oh, that's a nice one. Boy, we've had a good time today. It's been real nice fishing with you today here on Angling Insights. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dave Hadley. We'll see you next week.